Hello and happy Friday, guys. Get this. There we go. There's a couple people. There we go. Okay. Hi, welcome. It's Friday. Yay. We are still doing a doodle page. I wasn't sure that we were going to be able to do that because I couldn't think of any new ideas, and then it dawned on me that we hadn't done anything with Halloween candy yet. So we are doing a trick or treat Halloween candy doodle page. Let's see what else. If you ordered stickers, they went out today, so you'll get your stickers soon. If you haven't ordered stickers, you still can. Tomorrow is a drawing for Patreon members, and we are going to do Jack Skellington and Sally. So if you are a, if you are a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, you should join Patreon and draw with us. That's really the only announcements I have. So Patreon's still there, stickers are still there. Stickers went out. Saturday drawing for Patreon members. That's all I got. So let me just flip the camera around and we'll get started. It is a doodle page, so we are going to do this in pen. You're welcome to do it in pencil if you would prefer. If you don't like going straight to pen, we are doing some lettering. So if lettering isn't your jam, then, oh, come on, light. There we go. Then you can do it in pencil, or you could just leave the lettering out. But I will say on this one, the lettering is pretty like front and center. You'll see. Small group today, guys. So here is our trick or treat drawing. Now, I did a lot of really random candy. If I'm really talking about what Halloween candy I like to eat, it would be, Reese's and Snickers and things like that. I just kept this very generic, just because they're kind of fun shapes and stuff to draw. But if you want to do more specific candies to the kinds that you like to have, you can definitely add them. We have some eyeball candies, some pumpkin wrapped candies, some candy corn pumpkins, some candy corns, a chocolate bar, gummy worms, a witch finger, gummy teeth, jelly beans. I did a little box of dem bones, sucker, a brain, a gummy brain. So just kind of playing around with some fun shapes for candies. So we will get started. So we're going to start with the lettering. And you can really, again, do this lettering if you like, or leave it off, or do it however you like. I'm going to do a block style lettering. So for a letter T, it's basically a rectangle going horizontal and a rectangle going vertical. So I'm going to start with a line. I'll come down from each side. I'll go in about the same distance on each side, and then I'll put that vertical rectangle. For the R, now you don't have to have the lettering all the same size either. You can make it kind of more messy looking. So I'm going to put a line underneath. I'm going to do a curve for the top of that R. This will have a little line coming in, a small one coming up, over, and another leg back down, which connects to this up here. And then you'll do a little half circle for the hole. Your eye is really simple. It's just a rectangle. And I would say, you know, if you're drawing this with your kids and your kids aren't at a step yet where they're, like my son would have a hard time with this, we've done so many pumpkin shapes, have them draw their pumpkin bucket in the center. So you could do like your goodie bag or your treat bag instead of doing the lettering. There are other options. For the C, you start with a C, and then you just add some thickness to it. Okay. Has a little V at the top. Comes in. Has a V at the bottom as well. And connects. And then I put striped design inside my lettering. You can do dots. You could have nothing. I thought it would be fun to do every other one striped and kind of do, if I was coloring them, I probably would do like a orange and black or green and purple, or maybe a little bit of both. So there's my trick. Do a big letter O. And a smaller inside. And then we do another one of those R's. So line down, curve. This is going to come in, up, like that, and then another T. These are fun to practice too. You know, I don't consider myself really good at lettering, but sometimes it's fun to take a piece of paper and decide which letter you want to practice. Maybe you do multiples, but you can like draw an R and then draw that R as many different ways as you can come up with. So maybe one is more squared, maybe one is more bubbly, maybe one has more shadows, maybe one is more like calligraphy-like. So that's a fun way to do it. You could even try to think of, okay, what kind of little shapes could I put inside to make a letter R? Sometimes it's fun. I've seen alphabet books for our little kids where, you know, all the letters are made out of an animal shape. And then I'll do these stripes in this as well. And then stripes in this one. There we go. So now that I have my lettering, now I'm just going to go for all the different candies I want to put around the edge. So I'm going to just start with a piece of candy corn. So I'm going to do a curved bottom, and it's going to be a curved edge triangle. So I'm going to come up, come back down and connect, and then divide it into your 3 sections. And I'm might do more of those. I'll kind of just start with like one for now, and then I'll probably add another one. So for your gummy worm, I just did like a wavy line. And then take that wavy line and add a curve at the bottom and then just give it thickness. And then you have a worm. And then you can do little lines. I kind of put one full line in the center and then smaller lines on the side. Worms always have those division lines. And a lot of time with the gummy worms, you have like orange on one side and green on another. They're like two-toned. Let's go ahead and put another one right here. So start with that wavy line and then add curve around and add thickness to it. Put your lines down your worm. So let's do a wrapped piece of candy that looks like an eyeball. So I'm going to draw a circle. And then off the side of that circle, I'm going to do 3 little humps. So it looks like the wrapper. You know, the wrapper's like on taffy. Now you could make this look more like taffy if you don't want to do the eyeball, and you could just do like a spiral inside. I'm going to make mine look like an eye though. So I'm going to do another circle inside, a smaller circle inside that, and then a little circle of light. And then I have my eyeball candy. I'm going to put another one of those down here, maybe over here in this corner. So circle, another circle, smaller circle, little circle of light, color that pupil in black. And then we're going to do our 3 little bumps, 3 little bumps for the wrapper. Now I'm going to put a chocolate bar up here. So I'm going to start with a rectangular shape. And I want my chocolate bar to look like it's opened. So coming from the outside, I'm just going to do a little edge. So I just kind of curved over. And then I'm going to wave this line around. And then it's going to come down and kind of wave and look jagged and come connect to this side. So that way it just looks like some of the wrapper is, you peeled it down so you could eat the bar. And then you want to continue the bar on each side. And then I'm going to put a little jagged edge at the bottom of the candy bar. And then I put a little gravestone on my chocolate bar. So I'm just going to draw that like hot dog tip shape. And then I just wrote R.I.P. Okay, now for those candy pumpkins, you're going to have a kind of a squared off letter U. So I'll show you what I mean right here. So see, it looks like a letter U, but kind of square. So start with that. You can do a line right down the middle that comes a little bit higher than these lines you have here. So right in the middle, like that. And then I'm going to curve this line over and bring it down. Curve this over and bring it down. And then these two sides will curve a little bit shorter than the others. Because see, usually in pencil, right, we would just make this circle and then we'd add those little ridges on the top. And then on the top here, I'm going to do a little half circle because they always have that little green top at the top. And we'll do another one of these down here. So that squared off U. Your line in the middle curves this way, curves this way, and then these can curve into the side. And then we do a little green hump on the top. And these are my favorite. I love candy corn is a hit or miss thing for people. I like it, especially in the pumpkin shape. It's one of my favorite things. Now let's do a little box of bones. So I'm going to draw myself a rectangle. I want the box to look open, so I'm going to do a line angling out this way, a line angling out this way, which will come in and go back down. You'll add a little bit of thickness, so that looks like the box top that folded in and you've opened it up. And then I'm going to have a couple little bones coming out, so I'm just going to do 2 skinny lines and then put that like the top of a heart. Maybe I'll have another one here, top of a heart, and then let's have some that are actually out of the box. So I'll do 2 lines parallel to each other and then connect them with a heart on both ends. Let's have one going this way, like I'm doing crossed bones, and put a heart on both ends. And you could do as many of those as you want. You could have them kind of falling out down your paper. Again, there's always opportunity to take some of the things we're drawing and keep going with it, elaborate it, put it, spilling all over and filling the space. And then I just put dem bones. I think that's what they're called on the box too. This is that Halloween candy that never gets eaten, I feel like. They're like hard as a rock and rather flavorless. I know my kid never eats them for sure. Now I'm going to do a sucker. So for the sucker, I'm going to do 2 curved lines that are kind of even with each other, and then you'll connect those. Suckers almost always have that little ridge in the middle, so that's what we're doing here. And then you're going to put your circle up at the top and your circle at the bottom for that Tootsie Pop look. And then you just want to do a long, skinny stick for your handle. I'm going to go ahead and put another one of those candy corns down here in the bottom. So I'm going to do again that curved bottom line. And it's going to come up into that curved edge triangle, divided into 3 sections. You could also do candy corns little, so draw some little ones. That's another really good filler for this drawing. Now let's put another wrapped candy here. This one's going to be oval shaped. And this one, instead of doing the 3, I'm going to actually come out, and then just do wavy to connect. So out, out. You can almost make these like more Tootsie Pops too. Again, you can make them branded candies. I'm just kind of doing very generic. I think the only thing I wrote a name on was this. I'm going to put a little design work in here. So I'm going to do 2 lines dividing this space into thirds. Not even, this middle part's a lot bigger. And then I'm going to draw little faces, little kind of pumpkin-y faces. So I'm going to do some long ovals. Go ahead and color that in. And then for the mouth, this one I want vampire teeth. So I just did a line, the little triangle, a little line in between, triangle, the line up, and then finished off the mouth. And let's do another one of these up here. Draw another oval. You have your lines coming out, and then you zigzag to connect. Lines coming out. Zigzag to connect. Divide your space into thirds. This one I'm going to do a similar eye, but I'm going to make a little triangle cutout in it. So I'm going to put a V first. So see 2 V's. And then you can draw your oval around that V shape. And then you end up with that little V of light. That kind of, we do that a lot in pumpkins, right? Like cutting out that, giving them a little pupil almost. I'll put a little triangle for a nose. And then for the mouth, I'm going to just draw a smile, but I'm going to put those cross marks on it. For the witch's finger, I'm going to start with the nail. So I'm going to draw a pointy triangle. And you can close that off with a curve. And then you end up drawing like a peanut shape. So you kind of come out, in, out, and around. And then you repeat that on the other side. So see how it's like wavy like a peanut? Close up, please, of the eyes. So see, you do your 2 little V's and then do the circle around to connect those 2 lines. And for this witch, so it looks more like a finger, I'm going to do these, you know, your knuckle marks. So I'm going to put 3 kind of up here towards the top, and then 3 in this section. And then you kind of get that finger look. Now the vampire teeth are probably one of the hardest shapes to do in the pen. So we're going to start with, kind of look at this shape here. We're starting with the outer edge. So we're going to do this whole line first. So we're going to start down here at the tip, come up, wave it down, back up, and then back down. So these are kind of at an inward angle. So I'm coming out, up, down, up, and back in. Now in this space, I'm going to do another line that follows this line I made. You turn both of these into fangs. So these are your longest teeth. And then you put 4 teeth in between. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I like doing a little wavy line on the tip. So what I would do here is when I was coloring this, and I'll show you, I would give red on the tip of the vampire teeth. And these are usually a gummy candy. And then you'd leave the teeth white. And then in that gum space, you'd color it pink. And then you have that gummy vampire mouth. Pretty cute, I think. And now let's do a little gummy brain. I'll put it right, let's see, we'll put it right over here. So I'm going to start with the line that's down the middle. And from this line, you are going to go out and in a bit and then back out and around. It comes longer than your line and then connects. And then you mirror that on the other side. So it's almost like you're looking at a brain from the top. And then you just do those wavy brain lines. And same thing, this is usually a gummy candy. So once you kind of color this in, that pink for the brain, then it looks more like a brain. But remember, it's a candy version of a brain. So, you know, even if you look at the gummy brains that you get at the store, it captures it just enough to let you know it's a brain. And then what I might do here is like do some dark on those wavy lines. Just pushing harder, giving it some shading. And you got your little brain. And then now it's really just kind of all about doing some filler. So maybe you'll do some little jelly beans, which just would have, you know, a little curve to them. It's like an oval with a little curve. Let's put one right here. You could do little circular hard candies, just little circles here and there, like maybe a box of Nerds spilled out. And you could just color those in all different kinds of like rainbow colors so they look candy-like. I'll put another little jelly bean right here. You could do some smaller candy corns. Just doing those little curved triangles. Little smaller versions. Maybe there's a certain candy you love that you want to put on here, or maybe you do some gumballs. A lot of times these eyes are the gum. They're that hard gum. And, you know, same thing. We've done this with the eyes before, but I would, you know, give your eye a color. Doesn't have to be blue. It could be more creepy, and you could do it in like green. Not that green isn't an eye color, but. And then I would take your red pencil and do those wavy bloodshot eye lines. And then the wrapper I would just leave white. Your witch's finger. Let me make that green. I'm just going to add a little bit of color in. This doodle sheet went pretty fast, and since I already pre-drew it, I've got one that I can print out or do as a coloring page. But this one had pretty easy shapes today. Probably the hardest part is that lettering. And then I'm going to give an orange nail for the witch. And then same with these worms. Usually they're one color on one half. And then a different color on the other half. So this is actually a really fun one because I think you end up with a lot of different color, a lot of places for pops of colors on this. Whereas a lot of our Halloween drawings, you know, they've just been really centered around like the oranges. This I might do the trick. Have the stripes be orange and white, and then my solid letters be black on the top, and then maybe do purple on the bottom. They don't have to match exactly, so I would do this letter orange and white, this letter orange and white, this letter orange and white, and then do black for the R. And I would do the C black too. And then maybe in my treat, I'll do purple. And again, you don't have to follow along with this type of color scheme if you want to do something different. You definitely can. Just gives you a fun idea of how to add some colors into there. And that is pretty much it for our doodle page. Just always make sure you write your name on it. And I'm doing my age and where I'm from. And that is our doodle page for today. A pretty simple one this Friday, finishing off the week. Definitely load your pictures for me. Let me see what candies you did. I'm sure some people are going to do some of their own candies, which I love seeing. Love seeing the creativity. You can load them directly onto the group, or you can put them into an album. I will take a shot of this one as soon as we're done here, and I will load the coloring page on there. So maybe you have a bunch of littles who just want to color, but they could always go in and add little filler to the background of this as well, or add other little candies that they want to see on their page. And that is all I have for you guys today. I will see my patrons on Saturday. We are going to do Jack Skellington and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. And don't forget, if you're not a patron member currently, it's not too late to join. Thanks so much, guys. Happy drawing.